2020 here at Community Cooperative was an incredible year for us. We were helping so many people. We were in a great groove. We had the best soup kitchen benefit that we had ever had. Record-breaking numbers. We raised so much money. We were really plugging along as an organization, just doing incredibly well. And then the world stopped. COVID-19 hit, and we had to figure out what was next. There was no playbook. We didn't quite know what to do, but we knew we were going to get to work helping the people in our community.
What I remember the most is going and loading up the trucks, because that was something I wasn't expecting, especially on my first week here.
Lost a lot of volunteers, so staff was really all hands on deck.
Just the massive amounts of food constantly coming through our doors that we had to then package up and make sure we got back out the doors to the community who really needed that support. It was cool to see all of us from different departments coming together and really stepping up for our community to make sure that they were getting what they needed during those difficult times.
Really hard. And from 150, 200 families came up to 500 families at the time. It was like, wow.
I deal with the homeless, and they, don't really have a place to stay. And I just imagine, what if they get sick? Where are they gonna stay? Are they gonna be in the woods somewhere, in a tent, in their car?
So a lot of parents had to, even though they weren't maybe furloughed or let go, but they had to voluntarily, quit their jobs because they had no one to take care of their kids. And they just didn't know, who's gonna cover the next month's rent.
A young lady in Cape Coral one afternoon, right in the middle of all this, was trying to tell me something, and she finally wrote a note on a fast food napkin that said, "Thank you, my family wouldn't be able to eat without you."
I answered the phone, and it was an older gentleman, and he was short of tears but very concerned that and said, "Are you still going to be able to deliver my meals?" And I said, "Well, of course we're going to be able to deliver your meals." And he said, "Well, if you don't deliver my meals, I'm going to starve." And that got me, because they were so scared that we were going to bring them the food that they needed to live. It's just small little stories like that just pushed us, because we didn't care, if we were going to get it. It was okay if we got COVID, because that meant somebody was going to live.
To be humble, to be kind, it is a giving of the peace in your mind. To a stranger, to a friend, to give in such a way that has no end. We are loved, we are one.
As the world started to shut down, Disney World closed, events started to be canceled throughout the nation, and then I'll never forget that Friday the 13th, Lee County School District closed schools for 2 weeks, and we knew we had to get to work because there were going to be families in big trouble.
Our families count on us for a lot of things, and one of them being feeding their children. Immediately when you called us, we were able to open up our school to provide that extra feeding opportunity for our families, and they came through in droves.
These are all the people that are waiting in line to get groceries.
There are people out there that are really one missed paycheck, one blown tire, one expensive bill away from not being able to provide food for their families.
Very grateful. Thanks for everything.
Yes, please. And I remember in the summer, the amount of families and young kids that were getting meals during when everybody was out of school and people were unemployed, and we were coming out of a lockdown and everyone was trying to figure it out, and Community Cooperative was there.
And so while everybody was going into lockdown and going into their houses, we saw Community Cooperative do just the opposite. They went into action. And so that's when I called Stephanie and Tracy, and they said, yes, we will take whatever you can send us.
Never Another busy morning. If you ever wondered what 20,000 pounds of tomatoes looks like, it's a lot. We had so many community partners that were calling and texting and emailing. They wanted to know what they could do to help. They were sending money and resources and truckloads of food. I can't tell you how many thousands and thousands of pounds of food we all moved.
I don't know financially or physically, honestly, but financially, how we would be sitting today as an organization. We'd either be a lot poorer because we would have gone forward and done what we did and spent every penny we had, which probably would have been the case, or we wouldn't have been able to serve the amount of people that we served and help the families that needed it.
The silver lining of all of that was our community partners who came out and our incredible volunteers. They wanted to come out and help us do the work that we were doing. We were on the front lines and our volunteers weren't going to let us fail. They were there for us the whole way.
There's a passion for ownership. You want to be here. You know that you're committed to the mission because the volunteers are getting just as much as they're giving.
I'm very proud of Community Cooperative for doing the right thing throughout COVID and really facing, this incredible challenge of feeding people and not closing their doors and stepping up to the challenge of supplying food and helping those in need.
Without having those type of services and without having that out-of-the-box type of thinking, I just think we wouldn't be where we are today as a community.
For 37 years, Community Cooperative has been here serving the community, supporting those who are in need without judgment, and doing everything that we can do to make our community a better place to live. We've been through hurricanes, we've been through crises that cover the entire county or cities, or it might be just a crisis that's happening to one family, but we're always there. And just like when COVID hit, there's not a question ever of whether we're going to do something or how we're going to do something, because we know that helping people is the right thing to do. And if we don't do that, then we would not be Community Cooperative.
People realize that this soup kitchen is taking care of their own. These babies that are hungry, they're my babies and they're your babies. Maybe they didn't ask to be born, but we got them and we're gonna feed them.
I eat broccoli and it make it taste so good and science.
This is important, the work we do. And it can never stop. It just can't.